Hello, NSU Spartan fans. Joe Cook and the head coach of the men's basketball team, Anthony Evans, here once again on the NSU Coaches Show. This time we're going to look at the last 3 games of the regular season. Some big games coming up for you guys on the road. But first, we're going to recap senior night. Just a great win for the Spartans, especially that senior class. A 66-52 victory over the Longwood Lancers. You got big games for your seniors. Marcus Tomaros with 20 points. Chris McKeechin got a shooting slump with 21 points. Kyle Quinn, 60 rebounds, 2 blocks. And it was just really a special night for them.
Oh, it was. It was a great way to send them out. You know, all those guys have worked hard throughout their careers, and it was good to see them go out on a win.
And when you think about the senior class and the seniors and the players that have been a part of this team, with 19 wins, already a Division I era record for this team, what kind of goes through your mind?
Just pride. Pride in they've been here through the good times, been here through some tough times, and it's good to see them be a part of this 19-win season, the most in school history, and then again, going out on a winning note at home.
Most definitely, and after that win, I guess, in a couple of practices and the time you've been around the team, how have you feel them sort of unite even more after that big win, given the big road test coming up to culminate the season?
Well, anytime you win, it breeds confidence. So, with them getting the win, coming off the loss before we played Longwood, it just breeds confidence. So we're trying to get back to where we were going into the road trip, going into the tournament.
A big road trip coming up from the Spartans. Last 3 regular season games all on the road. The first up is the Florida road trip, if you will, going to face Bethune-Cookman. Right now they're 9-4 in the MEAC, 13-15 overall. Pretty much every game is a must-win, of course, at this point. But going against a team that you really haven't seen as far as playing against them, but they're winners out of the last 4, so it's another big game there in the conference.
Oh yeah, they're a good basketball team. I think they were one of the surprises in the league with Cliff Reed leading. They gave it to the assistant coach, and he's continued to do a very good job in keeping the team together, and they've played well. So we've got to go there, we've got to do the things that have helped us win and get on the road.
And looking at Bethune-Cookman and how they're kind of made up, what do you think is going to be the difference in this game?
Well, we've got to play perimeter defense. They have some good guards. They can shoot the 3. They do have some decent post players, but I think their perimeter game is probably the strongest aspect of the team.
Definitely is. They're second in field goal percentage in the MEAC and third in 3-point field goal percentage. So given that perimeter defense, McCauley and McKeechin, you got to really disrupt them.
Well, everybody, everywhere. Whoever plays has to come in and do a good job defensively. Not allow open shots because, of course, they're home, so they'll be comfortable. We have to try to disrupt them a little bit and make the night hard.
And their backcourt is led by Adrian Coleman and Kevin Dukes, both 13th and 14th in scoring in the MEAC. And when you have a deep team like you have, you look at Ryan McCauley, Chris McKeechin, and also you got Brandon Willis, even Jamel Fuentes, what they do defensively, you got to feel comfortable even though you're going against a pretty potent backcourt.
I do. I definitely we want to use our depth to our advantage. But again, getting back to playing basketball, defending the way we have in the past, before we lost a couple, I think that's what we have to get back to, regardless of who we play. As long as we defend like we can, we'll be okay.
And then looking ahead, they play at Bethune-Cookman this Saturday, and then Monday's game will be at FAMU, team that's 6-7 in the MEAC, 8-19 overall in that one. They do play Hampton before us. They're 11th in scoring defense, but the thing about this team, kind of peculiar defensively. 11th in scoring defense, but they lead the league in steals at 9 per game.
Yeah. Well, they're playing a little bit of zone, they're mixing it up. They have a shot blocker in Yannick Crowder, which makes a little bit of a difference. Your perimeter people can kind of take chances. They can gamble a little bit more, and it seems like they play well under Coach Johnson, who's a new coach in the league. So it's a different type of zone. It's kind of a matchup, kind of a flat zone. They switch it up a lot. They pressure a little bit. So they're doing a good job.
And one of the things against the zone, ball movement and dribble penetration will be key because Hampton, we see that matchup zone for them as well. So offensively, moving the ball is going to have to be a critical thing.
Yeah, trying to get the ball into the interior of the zone is going to be important. Because you can get dribble penetration, passes to the middle. They have to collapse. Now you can kick out or make passes for ladies.
And as we've seen so far this year, Marcus Tamaris has thrived against zones in the middle of those zones. And looking on the defensive side, they are led by Amin Stevens, a 6'6", averaging 15.5 points per game. A very versatile player, and he's #1 in offensive rebounds. And I look at that matchup, and I think of Marcus Tamaris because, you know, he's about that size, and he poses a mismatch. So is that a guy you're going to try to match up?
Yeah, Stevens is a tough matchup because he can shoot, he can drive to the basket. He'll post up a little bit, but he's so aggressive going to the offensive glass. We have to do a good job of boxing him out, making sure he doesn't get a lot of rebounds, and you know, just keep him under control.
That'll be big in that game, and then the season finale on the road, March 1st, Thursday, at A&T, another 6-17. They're also 11-17 overall. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. A team looking to come out strong against, you know, us, who of course one of the better teams in the conference, and A&T, they're hungry for what you could probably consider a banner win. So how do you handle that on the road, given that's the last game of the season?
Just try to be consistent. You know, that it may be their last home game. You know, it's going to be a raucous crowd. We have to go in there, keep our composure, maintain, you know, our poise. When we're playing, do the little things. You know.
And being on top of, you know, the conference for most of the year, right now #2, you know, how has your team been able to handle not really expectations, but knowing your opponent really going to give it its best shot, knowing that you're at pretty much the top of the league?
I think we've done a good job, you know, throughout the season with people coming at us with their best shots. Obviously, teams have made some adjustments. You know, we've lost a couple games, so now we have to make some adjustments. We have to turn our game up to another level going into these last 3 and then into the playoffs.
And another interesting about this A&T team, they're 3rd in conference in scoring with 70 points per game. How will you look to limit the scoring opportunities? Because they do like to shoot a lot of threes. They average about 8 threes maybe per game.
Well, again, perimeter defense is going to be important. You know, pick and roll, they run a lot of pick and roll, so we're going to have to do a good job against that. But to limit the wide open shots, to limit dribble penetration is going to be key.
And even with that perimeter defense, we look at a guy like Adrian Powell, who really leads the team with 12.5 points per game, and about 7 rebounds. It's kind of a situation where you kind of feel like, hey, if we can like control him, that kind of will really disrupt that whole Aggie offense.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a key component, of course. You know, they've got some good players. Point guard's very good, small but shifty, can shoot the 3. They got shooters, so you have to do a good job against them to limit the burst in scoring, because once they get off to 2 or 3 threes in a row, they get confidence. And we don't want them to get confidence.
And then lastly, Coach, you know, the importance, of course, building some momentum going to the tournament. But, you know, when you're talking to your team, you know, as you look back over the season, you can kind of say, hey, we've been here before. The last time we had a 3-game road trip, a big road trip, able to beat Coppin State, Morgan State, and at Hampton. So that's something that the Spartans can really hang their hats on.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, again, when you go back to that, you talk about the things that you did well during that time. You defended well. You know, at Coppin State, we held a team that was scoring 80 points a game to about 60, 70, whatever the score was. And then, you know, when we played Morgan State, we were down 17 and we were able to come back. So defending was the biggest thing. So we had to get back to that, and then we'd be fine going into it.
Right. Let's see if the Sparks can do that, get back to that aggressive team defense, and end the regular season on a winning note. For more on NSU's men's basketball team, find it right here, NSUSpartans.com.